Morning, family, friends. How y'all doing today? It's Tuesday morning. Um, Getting out here, getting to it. Just to continue letting you know what's going on, and again why I make these videos because I'm trying to show an example of what it's like to just step out of your comfort zone and get into a purpose and have courage to do something different in life, man. Because you know uh I didn't always have this opportunity to make a change in my life, and once I started seeing that I had that opportunity, I jumped on it, and I didn't let it go. And I'm working on getting more comfortable with speaking like this, and just opening up and helping other people to see that it's okay to hurt, it's okay to be confused, it's okay not to know, what I mean, because that's life, man. you know Life happens. We go through a lot of stuff in life, and we're affected in a lot of different ways, and a lot of times you don't have control over that, because we're not even aware that it's really happening the way it's happening, you know what I mean, because we lack clarity, we lack understanding. you know um Pressure, they say pressure busts a pipe, and that is a fact. Pressure will bust your pipe, and I just come from a place of, like I said, I I actually come from a two-parent home. um my father was, well, my stepfather was, he was an alcoholic, and my mother was just abused, you know what I mean, and in turn she abused me. And growing up, I just never I never knew what was going on, and I just didn't understand. So I walked around in anger, you know what I'm saying? And I realized, it was just my pain turned outwards, man. I was angry at the world, man. And I wind up going to prison, at 17 years old. I was a kid, and the state of Texas sent my behind to prison. They don't care how old you are. Some of y'all might not understand what I'm finna say next, but I'm black. It's living in Texas, being black, man. You pretty much like at the bottom of the totem pole, and if you ain't got no money, then you really hit. So that was my situation. I was a young black boy with no guidance, no understanding, and it led me to catch multiple felonies, to the point that you know by the time I was 26, I was looking at a life sentence for being a repeat offender. They said that I was non-rehabilitatable, and I was like, wow, I had just had my daughter. So in a nutshell, I was trying to find a way out because I was just looking at prison time, man, and I hadn't even tried to start living life yet. I had already been to prison 3 times at that point, and I was just barely 26 years old. You know what I mean? So it was rough. That was rough for me, and at the same time, from the age 17 until, like I said, 26, dude, I was in and out of prison. So I hadn't had no time to live, no time to learn anything, no time to experience life on life's terms, or none of that. So I was still confused. And at that time, I got into I had got into the Bible. I discovered Christ, and uh, I went to a shelter, which wound up being a church, and there's where I made a vow to give my life to Christ. You know what I'm saying? And I wound up staying in the church, 7.5 years. I got married. Um, you know, I married my best friend, the girl I met right out of prison. I had my daughter, she was the mother of my daughter. So we wound up getting married in that church, and like I said, we stayed together on and off for 7.5 years. He wound up getting a divorce, and I went through a lot of hardships in that church, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and that's for another video at some point, because that is a really in-depth conversation for me, because it deals with a lot of emotions, a lot of trauma and experiences that I went through while I was in that church. But mainly, what I'm getting at is just in a nutshell. I wind up moving to Louisville, Kentucky, at what, I was 29, 30 years old. No, I was 31, 32 years old, and I just lost my mother. And I lost my mom when I was 30, and that was the only person that I felt like really understood who I was in life. And so I wound up moving to Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm still here in Louisville. And it was in Louisville where, I made a vow to just make my own decisions in life, because prior to moving to Louisville, I was always, kind of like a yes man. If that looked good or sounded good, I tried it, but I made a vow to be like, well, if I make another mistake in life, it's going to be because I made that decision. And that's what I did. I came here, and, life transpired as it will, moving forward. My family came with me. We all came here together. At that time, I had my daughter. I had 3 sons by this time. I experienced a lot of loss, man. I lost some kids, man. I lost my auntie. I lost my mom. All of those. A lot of people that were really close to me. And it left me kind of lost. And while I was here in Louisville, man, due to drugs and alcohol and stuff, I lost my family. Saying my wife and my kids left, and I was just kind of stuck here by myself. And I got to the point to where I got suicidal. You know what I mean? And I've been in and out of psychiatric wards, and I was just lost, man. I was in a real deep depression, man. And 2017, I wound up going to a place called the Men's Healing Place in Louisville, Kentucky. They call Louisville the Mecca of recovery. And I went there. I didn't go there looking for sobriety, but I found sobriety while I was there. I seen an opportunity to make a change in my life, and that's what I did. And I wind up getting kicked out of the place, and what happened was I got an opportunity to do something different, make a different decision, and my decision was to stay sober, and I did, and I went through a lot of challenges after being kicked out of there. I wound up getting kicked out of 3 other facilities, and I wind up just back on the streets where I started at, as a teenager, but this time I had courage. This time, I was making my own decisions, and 5 years later, man, I'm still here. I'm still pushing. I'm still climbing, and I'm still sober. And, I'm grateful for that, And the reason I'm sharing with you, like I said, is because I want somebody to see this video, man, and take a look at your life, man, and be like, oh, okay, here's somebody that, did it. Here's somebody that spoke on it. And this is what happened, because you don't ever really see that, man. You always see people and they made up for them when they already made it. I'm going through it right now, trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? But I made it up here, but it hasn't transpired in the physical yet. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I need, somebody out there to see what I'm doing, man, to catch on and follow my lead. You hear me? And that's just what it's about, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just, I'm just average everyday Joe, you know what I'm saying? I'm not nobody special, although I feel special to myself, but I'm just not nobody special, man. We'll catch you on the next video. I think I got like 10 seconds left. Yeah, man. I appreciate you letting me share. Peace.